Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kathy at Attic Treasures, etc. And I pulled a couple more things out of my flow journal kit that I want to put together and make as ephemera for my journal. So I have this coffee dyed window envelope, this piece of scrapbook paper that I put in there, and this piece of burlap from I don't know, like a little paper pad. This is from a wallpaper sample book. This just shows one of the, it's a card that has some of the patterns in it. And then a piece of fabric. And let's see what we can make. So what my plan is to decorate this window envelope. And the way I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. And I want to put this paper on the outside. And I don't want to use this part that has the music on it for this project because you won't see most of it. So I'm just going to tuck it in here. And then I'm going to take a piece of this Dritz tracing paper that I've had for probably most of my life. And then tuck it in here with the tracing side down. Because what I want to do is I want to trace the opening. Let's get this out of here. That's just in my way. What I want to do is trace the opening onto the paper below it. I want to make sure that it's tucked right up to the edge there. And I'm going to take a stylus, and you can use any stylus. You can get these at the Dollar Tree, but this one came from another project kit. And I am just going to go along this cellophane, this window, and then this is the part that I'm going to cut out of that scrapbook paper. Go all the way around. And then I'm just going to pull the tracing paper out to see if I can see my lines. And I can. Okay, oh, that turned out really good. All right, so we'll put this back for another project. You can get these at a fabric store, but sadly Joann's is no more. You can also order it online, or if you have some carbon paper, that'll work too. So now I'm just going to take my steel rule, my little ruler there, and I'm just going to cut out around the edges, but not around the radius. I need to do that more of an eyeball thing. I hope everybody's having a good day. It's been a good day here so far. I'm really excited because I harvested my first acorn squash from our garden last night, and we had it for dinner. It was delicious. And I stuffed it with wild rice and chickpeas with cashew cream, and it was absolutely delicious. Okay. Go around the radius here. Sometimes a trick to doing this is to turn the paper and not so much the knife. That makes a nice radius. Okay, that's good enough for me. And you can see that that fits really nicely over that opening. That's just right. Now I want to cut the top of this off. Let's see, how much do I need? Pull it over a little bit, and it looks like I can cut right along that crease. So that is what I'm going to do. And it will be easier if I fold it in half. Perfect. And then I need, I'm going to end up folding this part up to make a pocket. So I don't need it to go all the way to the bottom. So I need, let's say 6 inches. So we will cut this off at 6 inches. Well, let's cut this part off first. So we need, pull it down a little bit, make a mark right about here. Set this aside for a future project. And then this needs to be about 6 inches. So right right here. Okay. So that is ready to cover the front. I'm not quite ready for it yet. So I'm going to set that aside, because when I don't have something inside, because it's going to hold a tag, I want to be able to look inside and see something pretty. So I'm going to use this card in here. So I'm going to glue the bottom of this card. Get my wax paper back. We're just going to use Scotch Create glue and glue the whole back of it. And then, oh, there goes my pen. Glue the whole back of it, and then slide it in there so that it covers up the back. It'll give it a little bit more rigidity as well, which of course adds some strength. And you don't want to get the back all gluey. So just slide it in here, make sure it's straight, and voila. Okay. Now, I'm going to put this in here as a mask, because I'm going to take some ink and ink around the edges. Most of this won't show, but the reason I'm doing it is because if the scrapbook paper that I place on top, in case some of the edges show through, I want them to be inked. And you would think, well, it's already coffee dyed, and you're right. This part's probably not that necessary. But oh well. Okay. Now I do want to close this up, but I also want to open the top. So I'm gonna out of the way. I'm gonna close the flap so that it stays shut. And then I'm gonna slice a small cut in the top so that it makes it so that I can slide a tag in from the top. And it just needs to barely, just a sliver, just the tiniest little sliver. Okay. There. Now I can slide a tag in there. That works great. Now we want to add our piece here, and to make sure that the white edges are not showing, I'm going to ink them. And now I'm ready to glue this on. Now the trick here, because this is not cardstock that I'm working with, I want to glue the back of it, but I want to make sure that while I'm doing that, I don't rip it. Ask me how I know. Have you ever been doing, there we go. Have you ever been doing a project and you get like almost to the end and then bam, something bad happens? I love to sew, but I'll tell you, putting buttonholes in scares me to death, because it's the last thing you do, right? It's the last thing you do. But if you mess it up, man, everything is ruined. Okay, so I'm gonna lay this on here carefully. Okay, this part I'm not unhappy with because it's gonna get covered up. So, but it's obviously it's not on here perfectly straight, so I'm going to shave off the edges, because that's what we do, right? We make junk journals. We don't make masterpieces. It's not a wedding dress, right? Okay. Bam. All right, now I want to fold up this and glue the sides of it, because I want this to be the pocket on the front, because you don't want to just have one pocket. What fun is that? So I'm going to use some art glitter glue here and fold that up. Bam, that looks great. I'm going to shave off just a little bit more here. There. Okay, now on the pocket itself, I want to have this burlap piece. And so I need a piece that is going to be 2 by 4 and 1/8. Okay, remember that. So let's do the 2 first. That was easy. And 4 and 1/8. 4 and 1/8. Okay. Put that right there. With some more art glitter glue. You know, I think I got this pad. It's all burlap. The whole pad is just pieces of burlap, like on this cardboard. I think it came from the thrift store. I don't like to spend a lot of money on supplies. Every once in a while I come across something that's a little more expensive that I think, oh, I gotta have that. That's the way it goes. Most of the stuff I get is thrifted, because, you know, it's a junk journal, right? Right. Okay, so there's that. Now I want to grab my pinking shears and cut this down to go on top of it. And I have to have my fancy dancy pinking shears. Because these are the ones that actually cut through fabric. And I like the colors of this fabric. This is obviously one that came from the Flow Journal that I made for myself for fall. And it is definitely fall. It's pretty blustery out there today. The leaves are so pretty. Okay, a little bit more off of here. And a little bit more off of here. Good. Now some Fabri-Tac, because it's fabric. Okay, so far I'm loving this. Now, for the top, I want to decorate the top up here with these leaves, but you can see that they have this plastic on them. Well, I don't really want the plastic because that makes it too hard to glue, so you just rip it off. This is the kind of stuff I love picking up at thrift stores. Sometimes I can find bags of, leaves, or they don't even have to be like autumn leaves. Also garage sales, but mostly thrift stores. And it doesn't matter if they have the plastic on them, because that plastic just comes right off. Okay, so let's get these guys on there. And there we go. I'm just gonna tack it right on here. And tack the other one right on there as well. You can kind of move it around a little bit. That looks all right. Now, I have this little fussy cut owl that I wanted to put on here as well. So normally I would glue this to a piece of cardstock. I think I will. Yep. I found this in my little stash, my Flow Journal. So I'm gonna glue this onto the cardboard, or this cardstock rather, and then that will make it a little bit more sturdy, like the Tim Holtz paper dolls. So if you have fussy cuts that you want to put on something, you want them to be a little bit more sturdy than just the paper that they're printed on, go ahead and get some lightweight cardstock and glue it right on there, and then cut around it. And this actually works really well. So it doesn't add a lot of thickness, but it adds enough so that it's just not, super flimsy. It just gives it a little bit of body. And this one's, not full of a bunch of, I don't know, hard to cut out places. This is pretty easy. As long as I don't cut off his little ear. Let's ink him up a little bit around the edges. And since he's going on fabric, well, sort of fabric, those fabric leaves, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac. And now for a finishing touch, put another leaf down here. Use this because I think it'll work. And I just noticed that there are some parts that didn't get cut out. This leaf came from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm not going to do it for this one, but just so you know, if you get these little wooden die cuts from the Dollar Tree, if you let them soak in water for a few minutes, each one of these is 4 layers. So you can get 4 out of each one of those. And then of course they come out much, much thinner, but it's just, I just didn't feel like doing that this time. I didn't want to wait. Okay, so now this is almost done. What else do I have in here? This little piece of lace ribbon or whatever you want to call it, seam binding. Tie a little knot in it. And I want a little button or a little piece of lace maybe. Well, that's cute. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Okay, so we're gonna cut this little piece off. My fabric scissors here. And this was also in my flow journal, little tiny bits of lace. These are the kinds of things that you can find in the flow journals that I have right now in my Etsy shop. If that's something that interests you, or just encouragement to make your own. Now, one more little tidbit. I included some of these sequins, and I think I'm going to put a couple of sequins in here. I like the way the owl's eyes look with this fabric. All right, let me just get one of these dark orange ones and put it right there. Just one. That's all it needs. Sometimes less is more, right? All right, just a little dab. And then, where's my little stylus? There. Okay, here's my little tag with a little pocket right here. So I've got a little photograph that I can put in the pocket. And do I have a tag? Let me go see if I can find a tag. I'll be right back. Let's try this one that I made. I made this tag a while back. This, or actually it's a little journal card. Put that inside. And voila. So I hope you like that. Here, let's get you up where you can see it. All right, I hope you like this. This was a lot of fun. It's super simple. You saw how fast it was. Didn't take very long at all to put this together, and I hope you make one of your own. So have a wonderful day, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already. Those kinds of things really help my channel, and I would really appreciate it. So have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody. And I will see you in my next video. Happy crafting, and let the serendipity find you. Bye-bye, everybody.